The exhibition is called Geometry of Light. And, well, it is a tribute to a photographer, a French photographer, famous one, who died some years ago, Henri Cartier-Bresson. And it is also a tribute to a philosophical way of life. And in a way, just like Simone said also, to the creativity, Israeli creativity. I think this work, well, it works what it does worse, but for me, it can be only the product of those three aspects of my life, being an Israeli, being a philosopher, and being a photographer. And there is a combination of those three aspects in this exhibition. So, why geometry of light? Well, the light is the one. The light is the one source, the one unity of life. The light in the material plan is represented by the sun. But the light is also the idea of monotheism, for example, the source of the one spirit. And the light, just like the sun, is something which will share its value, its light, its life in equal places and to everyone, to everybody. I mean, the sun will not give more light to Toronto and less to Tel Aviv, or al contrary, you know, it's the same. Sometimes you have clouds, but the clouds are something else that are coming between the sun and us. So the source of everything, the light, the unity, is the same. And I see this in a philosophical way, just like the humanity. Denise, Françoise told about the humanity which is one. And this is the same idea. The light is one, the humanity is one. But it is very difficult to represent the light. It's not possible to represent the light at the source. Just like in the Judaism, for example, you cannot tell the name of God, because there is no sound which can englobe all the sounds. You cannot make the shape of God, because there is not one shape who can englobe all the shapes. So you can only show different aspects of the unity, and those aspects are inside the multiplicity, inside the diversity. So when we are speaking, for example, but tomorrow we shall speak more about this, about cultural diversity, we are speaking not about different things which are opposite or really different one from the other one, but we are speaking about different aspects of the same unity, different aspects of the same humanity, different aspects of the same harmony, different aspects of the same equilibrium. So you have here 12 pictures, and those 12 pictures are 12 pictures from different parts of the world. There is this one, for example, is from India, this one is from Paris, this one is from the city of Plins in Czech Republic. I don't see quite there is one from the Barajas airport in Spain, after it's from London, this one's from Brazil, this one's from Israel, this one's from Switzerland. You have different places from the world, and after, of course, you are invited. Sorry for my English. I know my English is catastrophic, but no, it's okay, it's okay. I can speak in Hebrew better, but we will not understand if I speak Hebrew. So I prefer to continue in English. So what I was saying is that 12 different places, different cultures, but the same thing, because I've tried to catch the same signification, the same intensity, the same geography or geometry, more to say, of the life. And I thought at the beginning that it is also a tribute to Henri Cartier-Bresson. Why? Because Henri Cartier-Bresson said that the most important in a photography is not the subject. It's not what you are going to take in picture. It is even not the light. He said it is the geometry. Lines, points, triangles, plans, surfaces, volumes. Those are the invisible shapes behind what the eye can see. The eye can see only, the captures were the pictures, the eye can see the description, but the description is never the most important in a picture. For example, if I'm talking about this picture and I try to make a description, I can say, okay, you have a man, shape of the man on the left side with, in dark, with pixel about 80% gray, and we have some blue, about 30%, blue, and I can continue and make all the description. But none of this description will express the sentiment, will express the feeling. And this sentiment, this thing that man can feel when he looks at something like this is the invisible, and this is the significative. This is the most important. And this most important cannot be transmitted with words. It can be transmitted only if you look at this and if you put all your words, all your rational aside, and you try to build a sort of invisible link, with the picture. And I remember that Henri Cartier-Bresson was always considered like a magician, because I don't say that my pictures were worse pictures of Cartier-Bresson, no, but it's the same idea. I'm trying to follow the steps with the same idea. And people were asking him all the time, how does he do? And he talked about the decisive moment. He has the theory of the decisive moment. There is one moment, 1 second, one very, very, very specific moment when things occurs. I'm trying technically, to make for me the things easier. For example, when I take pictures, I have no zoom. I have a fixed lens camera, only 20 millimeters, that's all. Why? Because if I had a zoom, and at the beginning I was working with a zoom, I remember always that I was thinking myself, okay, now what shall I choose? 20 millimeter, 40 millimeter, 80 millimeter, and the time I take to think about what shall I do, the event has already passed. So when I limit myself with the choices, in reality I am more free, because I don't have to think about a choice which doesn't exist. So I can more quickly take the picture, being in an event, because there is an election I have not to do. But about Henri Cartier-Bresson, there is one of his most famous pictures. It's called Place de l'Europe. He took these pictures in 32, if I'm not wrong, in Paris. You see a man jumping in the air, and he's just in the air, in the position, in geometrical position, very extraordinary. If some of them are going to the workshop Saturday, you will see it, because I will show the pictures in the workshop. But people ask him, how did you do? How did you do to take these pictures? We are not talking with digital cameras, modern camera today. It was in 32. And he never wanted to tell. But 2 years before his death, he said, okay, now I shall explain. I was passing in the street, he says, and there was a wall. And in the wall, there was a hole in the wall. That's right? A hole in the wall. And I looked in the hole. And I saw a place empty, because there was no man. But something in the shape interested me. So I decided to take the picture. So he had a Leica. He made all the arrangements in his Leica. He put the Leica on the hole, and he pushed, click, without looking. And after he sent the film to development, to the laboratory, and when it came back, it was just the moment when the guy was jumping and was in the air. So when Henri Cartier-Bresson said this, the guy from the interview said, okay, now I understand. It is only a question of luck. And Henri Cartier-Bresson said, yes, but all the idea is to learn to have luck. You have to learn how to have luck. So this is what I'm trying. Learn to have luck. How can man learn to have luck? And the philosophical background helped me to understand that there is no luck. There is I think, there is only opportunities. And there is a lot of opportunities everywhere, every second, in the street. In any second occurs something, but we don't see them. We don't see them because we don't have enough attention, because we don't know how to be there, because we don't pay attention, because we don't have the concentration. So we pass things through. But because there is a lot of love, a lot of compassion in life, opportunities are coming back again and again and again and again and again. And one time maybe we shall see them. So Henri Cartier-Bresson was the one who knew how to see, how to look, how to recognize the opportunities. And for me, taking the pictures is the same thing. There is a scene, there is something in the visible, it may seem different, but beyond the visible, it shows the humanity one. And it shows the humanity one, and it shows the humanity one, and the humanity one. And I'm trying to not to force the opportunity. Because of this, I will not explain every one of those pictures. Françoise asked me before, maybe after the intervention you shall come and explain everyone. I have nothing to explain, because I don't think you can transmit the essential with words. You have to look at the pictures and to say, okay, is there any sentiment, feeling beyond what we see? And if you can recognize more or less the same feeling within all one-on-one, all those pictures, so maybe there is a unity beyond the diversity. And this unity is something that I found in my life, like as a philosopher, as a photographer, and also as an Israeli. Because Israel is inside the diversity. There is a lot of challenge in Israel. I will not say problems, I prefer to say challenge, because nobody wants problems. Challenge is better, you know? And I think as an Israeli, I can recognize better today those challenges, this diversity which exists in the world. And I will say last philosophical word. It is easy, I think, to see, to recognize the cultural diversity. I was only 2 days in Toronto. It's my first trip in North America. And I've seen there's a lot of cultural communities, different communities, just like in Israel. In Israel, you know, you have a lot of Jewish, but every Jew is coming from another part of the world. So you have a lot of diversity. But the problem is not to recognize this. The problem is how to live together. And I think the main problem is that every one of us wants the others to understand us, the others to recognize us. But this does not depend upon us. It's not depends of me that somebody else will like me, will understand me. So one thing we can do is, instead of trying or asking from the others to understand us, we can understand the others. And if we try to understand the others, well, this does depend on us. And let's say that if the others does not understand us, because it's not because I will make the effort to understand the others, that automatically the others will make the effort to understand us. So there will be no dialogue. And sometimes we have to recognize that there is no possible dialogue. That's a fact, that's a reality. And we're also living this reality in Israel. But at least I know in my heart that I have made what I had to do. I have acted like a philosopher. I have made no compromise with my own philosophy, with my own consciousness. So I can live within the unity of the multiplicity of the humanity. As an Israeli, as a philosopher, as a photographer, and in first place, like a human being, which is the most important. Thank you.